So long ago, certain place, certain time, you touched my hand on the way down to Emmeline. But if our paths never cross, well, you know I'm sorry, boy. If I live to see the seven wonders, I'll make a path to the rainbow's end. I'll never live to match beauty again. The rainbow's end. So it's hard to find someone with that kind of intensity. You touched my hand, I played it cool, and you reached out your hand to me. But if our paths never cross, well, I'm not sorry, but if I live to see seven wonders, I'll make a path to the rainbow's end. I'll never live to match beauty again. The rainbow's end. So long ago, it's a certain time, it's a certain place. You touch my hand and you smile all the way back. You held out your hand. If I hope and if I pray, ooh, it might work out someday. If I live to see the seven wonders, I'll make a path to the rainbow's edge. I'll never live to match beauty again. Good luck, girls. If I live to see the seven wonders, well, I'll make a path. I'll never live to see that beauty, that same beauty again. If I live to see that, well, I'll live to see.
Hey, let's get this party started. Welcome to KBLP LLC and American Horror Story. We're going to do episodes 4 and 5 tonight, so hope you've been watching. Okay, we pick it up. There's a new sorcery on the menu this week. An elite boarding school for gifted young men who yearn to reign supreme in the world of witches. A man's coven? Really? Who'd have thought, right? So now we know why Cordelia Good and her sisters showed up to save the day. To be raised up and released from an identity spell at the same moment, Myrtle Snow clucks sympathetically, and that's when we learn that both Mallory and Coco were former students at Miss Robichaud's enchanted pre-apocalypse. so that they wouldn't remember their dabblings in witchcraft. And obviously, Dinah is the exception here. She's totally sidelined, apart from an appearance in the opening there. The women have been revived to battle Michael Langdon for domination over the New World. But is Langdon a witch? Or could it be Satan? Which is the title of this episode. Could it be Satan? We kind of know he's affiliated somehow, some way. He's pretty clear cut. He's Satan, or at least Satan adjacent. But here we go. So we flash back to a time before the world ended at the underground school, which was once an institution for aspiring warlocks. Of course, the Harry Potter comparisons are unavoidable here, of course. But anyway, this is clearly a school for not the greatest of wizards, but the one time we see these guys do magic, they're standing in a chanting circle around a pile of green shards that they manage through the power. This is with their combined abilities to levitate and transform into a ball. Yay! Clap, clap, clap. Oh, super impressed here. I know, right? The teachers in charge are a group of black hat and variously bitchy warlocks and an all-star cast of Ryan Murphy, Fabs, and including Billy Porter, Cheyenne Jackson, and B.D. Wong. The men have a busy job training these wizards, but they're also awaiting the arrival of a prophesized alpha, who will finally break the glass ceiling that bars male witches from reigning supreme. To that end, the warlocks have found something promising. A video of a police interrogation that ends abruptly with the questioning cop levitating and then breaking all his bones before his head, boom, it just explodes. It was great. That's kind of Scanner style, don't you think? And the boy under interrogation? Yes, we know, the young, fresh-faced Langdon, who until recently was being raised by a Mead 1.0, a human lady with a trio of dead husbands in her past there. Yeah, she was busy. A shrine to the Dark Lord in her breakfast nook, and big plans for her demonic foster son. When the Warlock's Grand Chancellor, Ariel, finds and springs Langdon from his jail cell, Mead watches joyfully. Was this part of the plan all along? And a month later, the newest student Warlock is before the school's panel, having his skills tested. Divination, teleportation, and controlling the weather are all a cinch. Oh, obviously, he's an excellent witch or warlock. And again, all together now, could it be Satan? The warlocks aren't quite asking that question. They're just excited that their talented boy might pass the test of the 7 wonders and oust Cordelia Good as supreme. So they summon the witches from New Orleans, and keep your eyes peeled for flashback Mallory. She had shown some remarkable powers in a sorcery class. What follows is a snarly meeting between the warlocks and the coven, who refuse to take the men's claims seriously. The money quote, testosterone is a known inhibitor. It impedes access to the ethereal realm. Excuse me. And with that flashback to Mallory, you see she takes a rose and turns them blue and then into butterflies. And they fly away, and Cordelia holds one in her, falls in her hand, and it turns into a white rose. She's quite good. But anyway, the warlocks accuse Cordelia of being a bigot. Ooh, ouch. And this is quite the barb of abandoning Queenie to a lifetime purgatory at the Hotel Cortez. Cordelia, wounded of course, explains she tried to rescue Queenie but couldn't, because the hotel is under the control of a literal ding-dang devil and her powers were useless there. And if this seems like a setup for Langdon, who is also the literal dang devil, to whisk him away to hell to dramatically rescue the coven's missing sisters, well, yeah, you know it is. While the witches and warlocks bicker, of course, Langdon collects Queenie from the Cortez. And there's Evan Peters, hey, as Mr. March, of course. And for good measure, he also grabs Madison from her personal hell as a stock girl in the Kmart of the afterlife, which she would never ever do in real life. So that's her personal hell. And when the witches of Miss Robichaux stride out into the sunlight, they find the trio waiting. Queenie and Madison alive and looking beautiful in black, and Michael Landon looking smug as all hell. Cordelia sees them and faints. Could it have been the heat? No, I don't think so. So that's kind of went on. She faints away, and all this time, you're seeing why they, their identities were taken away so they wouldn't. This was a good episode, I thought. We kind of see how they got Michael Langdon into this, why he's where he is now. And they want him to be the Supreme, and they're like, no way, not going to happen. But it's good to see the witches together again, don't you think? And the way he rescued Queenie. And so him and her and Madison are kind of with Michael now. And of course you have Cordelia and Myrtle in that, the other three. And that's when she faints. She was kind of wanting to get out of there, get some fresh air, but what surprise! So they all go over to her. Good to see Queenie back. I love that girl. She is so awesome, so awesome, so awesome. I thought this was a good episode, kind of give us some more background. Where's Constance, though? I think we'll be seeing her. I do. I think we'll be seeing her soon. So what did you guys think of this episode so far? Just wondering. I know you guys, most of you have watched it. This season has just been spectacular so far. Absolutely love it. So, what did you guys think? I think he is definitely. I think, yeah, he was. He is the devil incarnate, basically, or his dad's son, obviously. But I think that was a way to get him into the coven of the men, the warlocks. So I think it was really good as far as that goes. And I like that they went back to the Hotel Cortez. So they're like, everything's tied in. I love the crossover. With the Hotel Cortez. It's kind of a gender war, supernatural gender war between the Coven Witches and the Warlocks. And I like Miss Mead and her prior. They kind of showed her raising, Michael there. And they say the warlock who becomes the alpha will have the power that will exceed the witches, he explained. The Grand Chancellor explained that an alpha warlock obviously supplants the supreme in the coven hierarchy. So they're hoping young Michael is the alpha they have been waiting for. And they ask her to do the 7 Wonders test and allow the warlocks to take their rightful place again. And she's like, oh, hell no, not going to happen. And of course, the flashback contains some Coven Easter eggs, including that backlash from Cordelia's publicity tour that forced them to go underground. literally and figuratively. But the Warlock Council put Langdon through their own test. And of course, he passed, despite warning signs of a darkness in his powers. And we all know what that is. But they want to put him up against Cordelia for being supreme. And that's when the other Coven Witch made her AHS debut in a flashback before the attack. Zoe Benson and Cordelia were recognizing the power of new students, of course, including Mallory, when they were summoned. The witches, Myrtle and Toe, they answered the call on Warlock turf, because as Myrtle says, did we really want all those men traipsing around our house? I love Myrtle. She is so great. Frances Conroy, she is just phenomenal. The meeting was so the Warlocks could introduce them to young Michael and challenge them. Men are simply not equal to women when it comes to magical ability, argued Cordelia, of a man never approaching supreme status. Not to mention everything else, Myrtle quipped. The Warlocks requested that the witches put Michael through a test of the 7 wonders. And then, when she refused, the season 5 hotel factored into the story, of course. Referencing the death of Misty Day during her coven test, Cordelia pushed back. And that's when, of course, like I said before, the Warlock Council brought up Queenie, the black girl you left behind. Ooh, a stab. Queenie survived the coven season, but later reprised her role when she checked into the Hotel Cortez, if you all remember that. I loved all seasons, actually. During the crossover in season 5, we watched as a ghost of James March, hotel serial killer, killed Queenie and trapped her soul on the grounds forever. It's kind of similar to Murder House traps its ghost. Queenie was missing. She traveled to L.A. and never came back, Cordelia explained. I knew something awful had happened to her. Her life force just vanished. So I went searching for her. When I found out she was trapped in the Hotel Cortez, I went immediately to bring her back from that monstrous place. And I had no illusions about it being easy. The Cortez is a place of evil, a hellmouth. Then they flashed back to Hotel Cortez, giving Evan Peters a chance to reprise his James March and marking Queenie's Apocalypse debut. So yay, Queenie, I was so happy. Cordelia tried to save her, but she realized they couldn't escape. And the hotel was an entryway to all things dark and satanic, where the devil reigns. The dark realm, she says, extinguish the light from which they draw their power. The Grand Chancellor tells Cordelia she is afraid of an end to ages of female dominance, but she stands firm in her decision. Unbeknownst to them, however, a power has awakened in Michael. He sees a vision of the Hotel Cortez and is able to do what Cordelia couldn't, and frees Queenie from the dark realm. It also provided a fun Easter egg with Peters as James March, playing out a scene with Michael Langdon, a son of Peters' Murder House character, Tate, who will be back this season. Yay! Oh, I just love how they're tying all this in together. I really, really do. And I think they're doing a good job of it. And telling Queenie they had one more person to get, Michael then travels to Madison's hell, of course, answering a burning question as to how the dead witch has been resurrected. But as shown in Coven, when the witches die and go to hell, they live out their own version of eternal suffering on a loop. And Madison was discovered working in customer service at a department store, a cursed existence for the once famous Hollywood star. It was kind of a comical reunion between Queenie and Madison before Michael brings them back to prove the point. He is the new Supreme. When exiting the Hawthorne School, Cordelia sees that Michael has resurrected Madison and Queenie and, of course, drops to the ground. And Michael, cloaked in black, stands over her, smiling. And as we move on to the 5th episode, it shows Cordelia predicting the apocalypse, telling the witches and warlocks, the only hope we have of surviving depends on what I do next. Ooh. Excuse me. So what do you think? Will Michael be the new Supreme? I don't think they're going to have much of a choice. Seriously. of him being the new Supreme. I don't think there's a real... I think they're giving them a chance to let him, seeing what happens. But in reality, I don't think they have and a pun here, chance in hell. Okay. Season episode 5 is called Boy Wonder, of course. This season is just so wonderful so far. I really, really love it. And this week's installment gets right to the point. Zombies, yeah. At least that's the major takeaway in the cold open as Cordelia swoons and hallucinates a vision of the end of the world. Who doesn't? Oh, of course. She emerges into a post-apocalyptic hellscape. Miss Robichaux's reduced to ash behind her and finds herself powerless and eaten. Ragged zombies stumble out of the mist and sink their teeth into her, while a pale figure, who looks an awful lot like Landon and demon-faced, you think, looks on laughing. Then, waking up to the sight of Queenie and Madison alive, Cordelia makes a strange pronouncement. Langdon will take the test of the 7 wonders. Now, this is a really big deal for the record. And then you have Madison's outfit. It looks like goth lingerie designed by Stevie Nicks. And yes, I do want it. I think it would be so cool. But anyway. Then we're back in New Orleans where Myrtle is blasting Cordelia for giving Amanda a chance at the supremacy. Have we learned nothing from Attila the Hun, Herod the Great, Mark Zuckerberg? I love it. It was great. Maybe she has a point. I don't know. And she had an idea. If they just delay Langdon's test, a new Lady Supreme might emerge. Maybe Mallory, showing incredible abilities, having brought a dead deer back to life, and cast a Benjamin Button-style spell on it so it turned back into a fawn. But even with promising witches in the wings, and not so promising ones, Coco has just arrived at Miss Robichaux's with an ability to detect gluten. Well, yay. That's her power. That's what's kind of... She should have stayed dead. Anyway, but she didn't. What do you guys think? Should she have stayed dead? An ability to detect gluten. Great. But Cordelia says there's no time. Bummer news, she's dying and fading, guys. The fading is worse. It's an erosion of her powers that involves developing a really hideous case of gangrene on the abs. All that core work for nothing. When she shows that. So that's kind of not a good thing going on there. So we come to the cusp of the blood moon as Langdon is blessed in preparation for his ordeal. Only one warlock sees something amiss. John Henry Moore glimpses Langdon's true face during the blessing and tries to warn Cordelia. But he never gets to New Orleans. What a surprise, right? Instead, here comes Meade. She waylays him at a gas station and slits several of his most important body parts before setting him on fire just for good measure. Great part. Oh, Kathy Bates is so awesome. So awesome. So the only thing standing in Langdon's way now is the test itself, which ends up being a campy throwback all the way to the golden age of silent cinema we have here. The 7 wonders unfold in jittery black and white: telekinesis, mind control, transmutation, divination, pyrokinesis, vitalium vitalis. And then finally, descensum, with a twist. You guessed it. Cordelia wants Langdon to descend to hell and come back with Misty Day. Ooh, Cordelia, you sneaky witch, you. And the warlocks, because they are total asshats who want to hurt our feelings, of course, object fiercely to this added challenge. Here's a little note to this. We're going to remember how you tried to deprive us of our Misty, you cape-wearing bunch of buttheads. But Langdon, who is absolutely the son of Satan himself, of course, okay, there's no question about it, is totally up for visiting his ends. He's visiting his home. So he's all okay with this. So there you go. A couple minutes later, he walks down a long hallway and finds Misty Day. still trapped in an endless time loop as she resurrects and dissects and resurrects a frog. Of all things. I love it. She realized, she said, when the demon biology teacher's intestines suddenly spill out of his body like sausages. You gotta love that part, too. And sees Langdon holding a scalpel. Well, there's that kind of an awkward moment when you feel friendly toward the Antichrist, right? Not such a bad guy. Cordelia gets a nosebleed and faints again at the sight of Misty resurrected, of course. Although not before a breathless pronouncement to Langdon. There can be no doubt you are the next, she says. Oh, wow. See, I told you. Next scene, Cordelia reveals it was all a ploy. Langdon will twist again. Langdon will never ascend to lead the coven, but she needed to find out how strong he was and use him to resurrect all her girls, the better to fight him later. But it seems that when he resurrects are on his side, no? I don't know. And as the episode winds down, things are downright idyllic. The Warlocks are happy. Misty Day is back. And guess who comes back? Stevie Nicks is in the house to twirl and sing with her favorite protege. I could have done without that, but okay. Everyone knows me. I am not a Stevie Nicks fan, but, I mean, it added to it. While Misty and Stevie embrace, of course, Cordelia and Madison are scheming, and Chablis is eavesdropping. They know there's a fight ahead, and they need intel, which means a field trip to investigate Langdon's true origins. It flashes back to a breathtaking shot of the murder house. That sound you hear is every hardcore AHS fan in the universe. We're all squealing in unison. Yay! And then the end comes. But gird your loins, everyone, because we all know what this means. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. This episode, I love this episode. It was great. We all know what he is. I don't know if I don't know if Cordelia's figured it out yet, who he is. I think everybody was happy to see Stevie Nicks back, of course. Like I said, I am not a Stevie Nicks fan. Everybody I know knows this. Anybody who knows me knows this. So I could have done without it. It was okay. But for those who, loved her, I did like her character in this. It was good. But, she doesn't have to break out into song every 5 minutes. But that's me. That's me. Sorry. It's almost like Stevie Nicks and the Supremes there. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, that was good. No, sorry. But for those who love it, then, there you go. They had a perfect moment there with Misty Day. But I'm wondering, it's like Queenie and Madison, they were with Michael after he brought them back. So whose side is Misty Day going to be on? Again, this was involved Cordelia's vision of a scorched earth and the demonic white-faced man ruling it. But that's why she wanted to let him take the trial of the 7 wonders, because she has an inkling, I think, of what he is. And of course, you gotta love Frances Conroy in this. She expresses concern about letting a man to ascend to become alpha. But Cordelia, like, we kind of touched on, she makes it known her powers are diminishing. She's fading. And she fears denying him the opportunity because what could, to take the test might be what could bring the coven down. So, Cheyenne Jackson, who plays John Henry, he was the only warlock who still had doubts about letting Langdon rise in the ranks so quickly. That's the Hawthorne School for Exceptional Young Men, of course. And he revealed, Cheyenne Jackson, he revealed his intention of traveling to New Orleans to meet Cordelia, but that didn't fly. Michael's devil-worshipping foster mom, Miriam Mead, of course, tracked him down and killed him. That was a great episode. She just went ballistic on him. She made her way back to the school where Michael met her and revealed his plan to achieve alpha status. So he wants to destroy all the witches and warlocks from within. And then we have Grand Chancellor Ariel, was actually totally on board for that plan, just to have a man become the new supreme. Of course, Langdon passes the first 6 tests with flying colors, and then, of course, like we talked about, the twist. His final task is to retrieve Misty Day from hell, from her eternal hell. Coven fans may recall Misty was trapped in an endless loop of having, of course, dissecting the frog, while she attempted to get through the trials. This was, of course, back in season 3. He wasn't even a bit challenged by this, and he does the job. And the witches are clearly dismayed when Cordelia concedes her authority as supreme to Michael. But she tells Myrtle and Misty she's not actually giving up her title. Not going to happen. She was just trying to figure out how strong he is. Okay. Misty lets him know that Langdon was communicating with the evil beings in the other underworld before he brought her home. But she couldn't understand what they were saying. Of course, they're probably, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while, right? And, of course, they call Stevie White Witch to provide a little post-trial entertainment while Cordelia sets her new plan into motion, digging up dirt on Langdon. And so what? It doesn't... What are you digging up dirt on, the devil? Really? That kind of doesn't make sense. It doesn't matter. He's more powerful than they are, obviously. So, digging up dirt on Langdon. He's the devil. You're going to find a lot, probably. That I didn't quite get that, but okay. She decides to send Madison on a little trip to find out what she can. And behold, Billy Porter Chablis seemingly switches sides to join them on that mission. Where are they going? Just a fun road trip to Murder House, of course, where Michael was born. Because y'all know he's the demon spawn of human Vivian Harmon and Tate Langdon. Ooh. There's only 10 episodes in Apocalypse this year, so we're already halfway. And things are about to get wild. The witches are about to come face to face with the dark forces of Murder House, specifically Constant Langdon. Yay, Jessica Lange. Yeah. We'll finally learn Michael's full backstory and the evil plot he's attempting to carry out. But if he's the son of the devil, nobody's going to stop him. I don't even think the whole coven could stop him. I don't know. But getting this info, they think, will help figure out how to stop him. That weakness may come from his mother, Vivian, who was an innocent pawn in the events that played out during season 1. It's clear from his attachment to me that Michael longs for a maternal connection. Perhaps Misty or Mallory's whole magical ability to bring people back from the dead might prove useful at Murder House. What do you think? But if they're trying to find out, he's the son of the devil. Come on. What kind of weakness could there possibly be? Just saying. Here's what we do know. Mallory has the ability to bring dead things back to life, kind of like Misty's power. Coco started attending Miss Robichaux's academy after discovering her ability to sense gluten. Yeah. But Cordelia thinks that could be developed into the power to detect danger. Meade warned Langland not to tell Ariel who his father is. Yeah, good idea. Madison second-guessed betraying Langdon after he brought her back to life. Here's some things we need to know, and hopefully we'll be finding out. Is B.D. Wong's Warlock character going to be a blind follower of Langdon? Is Mallory related to Misty in some way, or do they just have similar powers? Is Langdon's father the white-faced demon? Is Papa Legba, the gatekeeper of the spirit world, played like Lance Reddick? Oh, he's so awesome. Is Papa Legba going to just sit back and let people leave the underworld so easily? If Michael takes over, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Okay, I think he'll have plenty of visitors down there, or they'll be up here. One of the two, correct? It'll be hell on earth, basically. Oh, Lance Reddick is so awesome. Oh, I love that man. He's so great. So he's playing Papa Legba from Coven season. He's Coven. He's the gatekeeper of the spirit world, so we'll see. And what does Stevie Nicks have to perform whenever somebody attempts the trial? That's exactly what I said. We don't need her to break into song, but okay. Here's a couple of speculations going around as to Mallory. It suggests that she's a fallen angel or a descendant of Lady Gaga's Roanoke character, or Lilith, supposedly Adam's first wife from the Bible. The post-apocalyptic landscape we saw in the first few episodes hasn't actually happened yet and was just part of Cordelia's vision. That's what people are speculating on. So what do you think? I'm thinking, they're trying to get dirt on Langdon. He is the devil's son. You're going to find all kinds of dirt, I would imagine. So I don't know how that's going to be helpful. I don't know if they're going to be able to find a weakness. It could be, maybe meat is his weakness, but in the overall scheme of things, probably not. Probably not. So the plot thickens and moves forward. It's going to be great. What do you think of the Warlocks? I don't think the one who's saying he's trying to see what's going on with the witches. I don't think he's actually a turncoat, but we'll see. Of course, Meade is so awesome, Kathy Bates and that. So we're going to be seeing Jessica Lange, and Tate will be back, and it's going to be so awesome. Do you think the witches can stand against Michael? I don't know. My other thought is, okay, Papa Legba, he's got to know what Michael Landon is. So I don't think he's going to worry about who's leaving the underworld so easily. So yeah, he's going to let Michael do what he needs to do. He knows who he is. He's probably talking to him. Who knows? So yeah, when he was talking to his relatives down there, I think that was great. It's just like, ooh, who's he talking to? He's some other language, but you got to love it. And Langdon just takes these tasks as, are you kidding? That's all you got? Give me something hard to do. So, it'd be interesting to find out if Mallory was actually related to Misty in some way. It'd be cool if she was related to Lady Gaga's character, though. That would be cool. A descendant of hers. Wouldn't that be cool? And their speculation is the apocalypse actually hasn't happened yet. But I think it has, and I think she's just seeing the overall view, her vision of what's going on, of what it's going to be like. Hell on earth, of course. So how do you think this is going to end? We're going to kind of speculate on that a little bit. I don't know. That there's going to be a twist. It's not always the way you think it's going to end, like good versus evil thing. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but we shall see. So, that kind of wraps it up. I think we cut on the highlights again. Stevie Nicks quit coming in there and singing. Every time something happens, I don't know. That's just me, guys. My opinion only. It does not reflect the views of anybody else. So, just my opinion. Like I said, I am not a favorite. She's not one of my favorites. I love it. I love it. But I don't see how they're going to get dirt on Langdon. That just kind of blew my mind. It's like, what? Wait a minute. He's the son of the devil. He's going to have lots of it. I don't think that's going to help them any. Discredit him, of course. Of course not. I think that's kind of silly. But And again, it should prove interesting. And I love the way they're tying kind of all the seasons in. So, of course, Murder House Coven, Hotel, gotta love it. And there's going to be, like I said, maybe Mallory is a descendant of Lady Gaga, which would tie in, of course, Roanoke. So, interesting things going on. Gotta love B.D. Wong, though. He is just such a fan of Michael's, isn't he? It's so great, so great. So what do you think of this season so far? Let me know. You can get a hold of me at KBLP LLC and message. And apparently I do not have volume on. There we go. That's a little better. So sorry. I must have touched something there. But anyway, gotta love this season. I really do. I really like it. I love how they're tying in all these seasons together. So we shall see what we shall see. Will they find out anything that can help them? I doubt it. It kind of wraps up this week's stuff. Anyway, the high points. We all know what's going on. This episode was kind of a it was almost entirely a flashback to how Michael came to be part of the Coven of Warlocks, and sadly they've been kind of considered the lesser beings than witches for centuries. But I think they're just as strong. They just don't get the recognition they deserve. And of course, Boy Wonder there, in his flashbacks, getting everybody. So, Cordelia's, men do not have the ability to be witches like, women do, yada, yada. She may be eating her words yet because he is not actually a warlock. He's a spawn of Satan. I mean, come on. That's what he is. So, that kind of wraps it up. We're looking forward to next week's, this Wednesday. Let's see what's going to happen. Maybe get a little sneak peek here. Oops. So sorry. And we're headed to Murder House, so this should be good. That'll be this Wednesday's episode. It'll contain some details from the first 5 episodes of... we've already got a little bit of the Murder House crossover. Given that Michael Langdon is at the center of the whole apocalypse, of course. Langdon first appeared at the end of Murder House, just so you know, as a baby, if you remember. Murder House was an excellent season, too. But so far, he's the only one returned from Murder House. But that's going to change this week. And yes, that means Jessica Lange is back as Constance. Woohoo! Buckle up for all Murder House all the time in next week's episode. It's even retitled Return to Murder House for Antichrist's sake. So there you go. The end of this episode 5, it perfectly set it up for the trip back to where it all began. As Cordelia orders Madison and the nosy warlock, Chablis, to look around the Murder House for some clues to defeat Michael. They actually it reveals in the trailer, if you have seen it, that Madison, Behold, and Cordelia, they actually purchased the Murder House for their recon mission. They're going to have trouble, of course, contacting the ghost. But the most important one does come back, Constance. Woohoo! She descends the staircase to greet the newcomers, isn't the new homeowners? I'm so sorry. There you go. Um, it should yet contain another flashback. Um, to remind, this Coven storyline is already a flashback from Outpost 3. We'll get to see Constance raising Michael through his teen years. And when he finally realizes who he is, this should be good. We only get to see brief flashes of a couple other Murder House characters, of course, Rubber Man and Violet Harmon, so should be good. Tate Langdon and Ben and Vivian Harmon, of course, are confirmed to return this season, so keep an eye out. So something to look forward to. Wednesday, we will be back at Murder House. So cool, so cool, so cool. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up here. Let me give you a rundown of the shows this week. But this season has been, I love it so far. I think it's been really good, well written, and it seamlessly is tying everything in, which is, I think it's been well done. So everybody's been waiting for this episode, so be sure to tune in Wednesday for American Horror Story Return to Murder House. So, anyway, tomorrow's Monday. So join Michelle and myself on Planet BOB. And then Sports Talk with myself and a guest, Zach. He's a new podcaster, so he'll be joining me tomorrow night. Wednesday, join me for TWD, and I hope Rick Moylan will be joining me, and we're going to decide if we're going back on Tuesdays, okay? So we'll let you know. Thursday, we have DWD with myself. And then we have Lolita's Jam. Oh, I'm sorry, Thursday. First, you're going to have Chained with Desiree. Des, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting you're back. So I do have to go back. Yes, Chained with Desiree Pickett. At approximately 7 p.m. Her time, which is 9 p.m. Mountain Time and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I'll be on with DWD on Thursday. After that, it's Music Day. So after that, it's Lolita's Jam. And she does hip-hop music, underground music, and new artists. And then Friday, we have Hollywood Review. We're going to see how Venom did. We're going to see how Star is Born did. And guess what opens Friday? Of course, Halloween. Oh, I can't wait to see that. I'll have to wait till next week, though. The following week to go see it. So that's okay, but I will see it. That is top of my list. I will see it. So anyway, Hollywood Review. I want to do Haunted Castles on Encounters. But Saturday I have to work and then I have to go to Cleveland. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. I may have to do Encounters on the following Tuesday only because I have to go to Cleveland because Sunday is memorial for my mom. So it's every October. And then there's a dinner. I go with my dad. I do this every year. So it just happens to be next weekend. This coming up weekend. So if I can't do Encounter Saturday, I will do it on Tuesday. And we're going to do Haunted Castles, by the way. That's going to be so cool. I cannot wait to do that one. That's going to be good. Okay, and don't forget Ecto on Saturday with Michelle Auger. Totally awesome show. Check it out for sure. It's true paranormal stories and such. Very good show. So please check her out. Say hey, give her a like, okay? Tune into all the shows. Just stop by, say hey. We really like to know what you think of this, our shows. If you have any questions, join in the chat too, because we'd love to hear what you think. That's why we're doing this for you guys. So, like I said, you can get a hold of us through KBLP LLC and message us, or just through that site. So, and you can get all the shows are listed there. And you can download it, give it a listen. We're also on YouTube so give us a listen. iHeartRadio, Spotify. So we are everywhere. Check it out, guys. Seriously. Okay, shout out to True Horror Junkies. Woohoo! Shout out to Horror Three Ring Circus, Art of Darkness, Walking Dead Freak Show with Jason Boyce and Michelle Auger. Who else do we need? Planet B period O period B period, of course. And if you're going to the Facebook page, please put in the periods because I don't know where you're going to end up if you don't. It's a great group, also with Survival Wolves with Mike Ronan. On Facebook, make sure you check the real one, which is 5,000 plus members, okay? There's a copycat one out there. I believe it's still 500 plus, so go to the real one. And Conflicted with Julie Kinney, who is an awesome, awesome lady. I can't wait to have her back on Planet B.O.B. on the show one night. So she is something else. And it's a scenario of what ifs. So please check out these survival pages that give you survival tips, prepping. That's kind of what we try and do on Planet B.O.B. every other Monday. We do things wrong to show you how to do it right, like prepping for winter. What to do in a hurricane, everything. And any of these groups, you can ask questions, find out anything you want. They'll be glad to help you out. So, check those places out. Who else? Oh, Typhoid Marys, I want to give a shout out to also. And King Barker and Beyond also. So, shout out to you guys. So, excuse me. Anyway, yeah, this weather's crazy. 40 degrees. Ugh. Anyway, can't wait till spring. I'm looking forward to it already. So, you guys stay warm out there. Hope everybody stays safe in the South. And I hope everybody is okay. So, let's see. Can't think of anything else. That pretty much wraps it up. So, join me tomorrow night. And Michelle and Zach. So, we shall see how that goes. So, you guys have a great night. Hope it's a good one. It's Monday, I know tomorrow, but it's okay. Wednesday will be here before we know it, halfway through the week. So, I know y'all watched The Walking Dead tonight. Keep in mind, I'll be on Wednesday, so let me know what you thought of this episode, okay? All right, have a great night. Thanks for listening. Peace out, y'all.
It's me, Lana. Lana Banana. Do you know your name?
The name game. Judy, Bo Booty, Banana, Fana, Fo Foodie, Fee, Fi, Mo Moody. Judy. Lana, Bobana, Banana, Fana, Fo Fana, Fee, Fi, Mo Nana. Lana. Come on, everybody. I say, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. But a B or an F or an M will appear. And then I say Bo at a B, then I say the name, and Banana, Fana, and a Fo. And then I say the name again with an F, very plain, and a Fee, Fi, and a Mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time, and there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. Pepper, Bo, Pepper, Banana, Fana, Fo, Fepper, Fee, Fi, Mo, Mepper, Pepper. But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name like Bob. Bob, drop the B's, Bob for Fred. Fred, drop the F's for Red. For Mary, Mary, drop the M's for Eric. That's the only rule that is contrary. Okay? Now say Bo. Now Tony with a B. Then Banana, Fana, Fo. Then you say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a Fee, Fi, and a Mo.
Do you know your name?
Round and round like a horse on a carousel we go. Will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. Turning back now. Round and round like a horse on a carousel we go. Will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel. This horse is too slow. We're always this close, almost, almost. We're afraid
threw it in this damn coin slot, and now I'm stuck, right in, right in, right in. Round and round like a horse on a carousel we go. Will I catch up to love? I can never tell. I know chasing after you is like a fairy tale, but I feel like I'm glued on tight to this carousel.
Got a big plan, this mindset, maybe it's right at the right place and right time. Maybe tonight in a whisper or handshake, sending a sign. Wanna make out and kiss hard, wait never mind. Late night in passing, mention it, flip to her best friend. It's no thing, maybe it slipped, but the slip turns to terror and a crush to like. Then she walked in, he froze up, leave it to fright. It's cute in a way till you cannot speak, and you live to have a cigarette and these get weak. Escape was just a nod and a casual wave. Obsessed about it heavy for the next 2 days. It's only just a crush, it'll go away. It's just like all the others, it'll go away. Or maybe this is danger and you just don't know. You pray it all away but it continues to grow. I want to hold you close, skin pressed against me tight. Lie still, close your eyes, girl. So lovely, it feels so right. I want to hold you close, soft breath beating hard as I whisper in your ear. I want to tear you apart. Then he walked up and told her, thinking maybe it'd pass. And they talked and looked away a lot, doing the dance. Her hand brushed up against his, she left it there. Told him how she felt and then they locked in a stare. They took a step back, thought about it, what should they do? Cause there's always repercussions when you're dating in school. But their lips met and reservations started to pass, whether this was just an evening or a thing that would last. Either way he wanted her and this was bad. Wanted to do things to her, it was making him crazy. Now a little crush turned into a like, and now he wants to grab her by the hair and tell her, I want to hold you close, skin pressed against me tight. Lie still, close your eyes, girl. So lovely, it feels so right. I want to hold you close, gonna fucking tear you apart.